So you're currently here, but you want to get to here. But whenever you try to get to here, you always end up back at the beginning where you started. Now in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you're going to stay here without going back. And I'm going to help you understand how to fill this gap so you don't end up in this horrible endless cycle your entire life. So let's be honest, when you're reaching your goals, everyone breaks it down into three things: activity, nutrition, and accountability. But a lot of people in this situation still don't see progress. And that's because they're missing the secret sauce, which is creating habits that are actually sustainable and understanding your triggers. And this is something that we teach our one-to-one clients every single day, and that's to track habits over tracking numbers. I know what you're thinking, Bethany, what the hell are you going on about? I'm going to show you exactly what this means and exactly how it's actually going to change your life when it comes to reaching your goals and actually staying there for good. And if you want to know anything about me, I don't do anything without showing you actual proof. So just to give you a little bit of a breakdown on how I've actually been able to do this myself, here are some photos. And here's how a load of our one-to-one clients have done the exact same and not gained any weight back. The first thing that you need to do when it comes to reaching your goals is to actually figure out the right goals for you. So we've got our calories, our steps, and our training. I want to show you a simple formula on how to make sure that you're getting the right goals for these things, because you could be tracking your calories, you could be doing your steps, and you could be doing your training, but you could still just not be getting anywhere and be like a hamster on a wheel, never ever getting your goals, even though you're actually going in the motions. So let's start off with calories. I've got a calorie tracker that I'll link in the description below. Put your information in there and it should spit out a calorie number that'll be perfect for you. Then with our steps, all I want you to do is go on your step tracker, on your watch, on your phone, and add 2,000 to your current average steps. This is going to increase your activity goal. Then when it comes to training, I would recommend you doing at least 3 weighted sessions per week and 1 type of cardiovascular based session. What you do in these sessions at this very moment doesn't really matter if you're struggling to lose fat. The most important thing is that you're actually getting these sessions in and you're making it a routine. But one really important thing when it comes to your training is actually making something that is enjoyable. If you're forcing yourself to go to the gym, if you're forcing yourself to do something that you just don't enjoy, it's going to be a massive resistance whenever you're trying to do it. So make sure you're doing something that you enjoy, but it's actually going to be tailored towards your goals. I know what you're thinking, Bethany, I've tried doing all this before and I still don't see any progress. And that's because you're missing this one thing that I'm talking about. So you've got your goals now, you know exactly what to do, you know your calories, you know your steps, you know your training. So why are you still not reaching your goals? Why are you still not getting there? You've got all the answers, you've got everything you need, but you're still not getting there. And the big thing is that you need to be able to fit it into your life. So let's figure out your life. I like to think of life as a huge Tetris game. You've got the tub that you try to fit all the blocks in, which is your life, and then you've got all these blocks. These blocks represent different things in your life. So you'll have your work commitments, you'll have your family commitments, you'll have your social life, you'll have your personal commitments, your chores, and the remaining space in this Tetris tube is your goals. This is the extra things that you're able to do. Now, if you've got no room left for these goals, this is where we need to shift our priorities a little bit and shift where we're actually wanting to put our attention. So you might want to take a bit more attention off your work to focus on your goals. You might want to say no to a couple of more social plans to focus on your goals. You might have to say no to seeing your friends as much to reach your goals. We've only got this amount of space in our life and everything needs to fit. So if you're currently not able to fit your goals in, we need to look and have a priority basis to say, right, what is my priority at the moment and what can I shift around so I can make my goals a priority. We can't have our cake and eat it. We've got to be able to fit everything in and make sure that it works. If you don't do this as the first step, you're never ever going to be able to reach your goals because you're always going to be trying and failing because you simply do not have enough time and you do not have enough energy. So at this point, we've figured out our goals. We've figured out our priorities in our life. The next step is to actually make these goals into reality. Because let's be honest, they're still not a reality at the moment. And the way that we do this is instead of looking at our numbers, we actually look at the habits that we're forming. So let's take calories, for example. Instead of just saying, I'm going to reach X amount of calories a day, I want you to split that into meals and make it into actionable tasks that you're going to be able to take off every single day. Instead of looking at your whole step number, 10,000 steps, break it into how many actual walks you're going to be doing in that day, how many actionable things you're going to be able to do. Because we don't just do 10,000 steps, we do walks to reach our steps. So we need to be that middleman and break it down so that when we look at our day, we can actually get it all done. Again, with your training, instead of just saying, yeah, this week I'm going to get 5 training sessions in, I want you to break it down and say, I'm going to go at 5 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday and Friday. So what we've been able to do here is take your numbers, your goals, these floating dreams that we have, and actually put it into actionable steps that you're going to be able to now pick up and do in your week. And to break this down even further, I'm going to help you actually break down how you're going to do these things. So by the end of this video, you're going to actually be able to know how you're going to be able to do this in your life, because it's not one size fits all. Whatever works for me isn't going to work for you. And this strategy, this formula is actually going to help you understand how you're going to make it work for your life so that you can use this formula with yourself. So let's take calories first. Take your calorie number that you've just got from my calorie calculator and split that out into however many meals and snacks you want in your day. This depends on your schedule. This depends on how much time you have, when you're free, when you're not. Make this work for you. Also consider when you're hungry. So if in the day at the moment, if you're super duper hungry at 3 p.m, make sure you put a meal in at 3 p.m. so that you actually are going to satisfy your hunger and not make it harder for yourself. So let's just take an example. You're going to eat 4 meals a day, one at breakfast at 8 a.m, one at lunch at 12 p.m, a snack at 3 p.m, and another meal at 6 p.m. We're now going to break our calorie goal down into those meals so you know exactly what to do and what to work towards when you come to actually eating those meals. So let's say you've got 1,800 calories. You're going to break that down into 4 sections in the day. So that's 4 lots of 450 calories. Take your protein goal as well, 150 grams of protein, and break this down into the 4 servings, 4 meals that you're having in the day. So that's 450 calories and 40 grams of protein in every single meal. So do you see how we've gone from having 1 calorie number and 1 protein number to it actually being actionable and it actually being doable when you're looking at your meals and you're coming to have your food. Now, just to break it down even further and make it even less resistant when you come into doing this, is I want you to then make a plan for these meals. So you've got meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, or it might be 3 meals, 2 snacks for you, 5 meals, 0 snacks, whatever you want it to be. I want you to draw that out on a piece of paper, meal 1 to 4, and write down some meal ideas that you know you like, you know is easy to make, you know maybe it works around your family, it works around your time commitments, and write down 4 options for each of those meals. So for breakfast, you might have overnight oats, breakfast burrito, eggs on toast, Weetabix cheesecake. For your meal 2, you might have chicken and rice, you might have a sandwich, you might have pasta salad. Write down all these options, make sure that it's actually going to work for you, make sure that it's actually going to work around your life, and now you have a fully flexible meal plan that not is only workable around your life, it's foods that you like. You can pick it up and put it down whenever you want, but you've also got calorie goals that you can work towards as well. So we've gone from having a day and thinking, right, I need to hit 1,800 calories a day, to actually knowing, right, for my breakfast, all I need to do is either pick from Weetabix cheesecake to overnight oats. You can then prep these things and it just takes out all the decision fatigue and makes reaching your goals way more streamlined and way easier. Now moving on to your steps. Instead of you just telling yourself that you've got 10,000 steps to reach today, that's not helping anyone, because you get into the end of the day every single time and you're only on 5,000. You need to actually think, how are you fitting that in your day? So break down your steps into walk goals. So for example, you might have to look at your day, plan everything out, see how much free time you've got. You might be able to get 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in at lunch while you're at work, 10 minutes before the gym and 10 minutes after the gym on the treadmill. You've now planned in 80 minutes of physical walking every single day that is going to enable you to get these steps in. So we're bridging that gap. Instead of you saying, I'm going to get 10,000 steps in, you're going to say, I'm going to get 3 walks in, which is meaning you're now going to reach your steps. You've got a plan, you've got actual steps you can actually make. And then for your training, the biggest thing is, how much time do you need, or how much time do you have to train? Do you enjoy it? And is it actually working towards the goals that you want? If you're wanting to grow your glutes, are you including glute movements in there? Have you only got 40 minutes? Are you actually including things like supersets? Are you being efficient with your workouts? But also, do you enjoy that? So do you enjoy the movements that you're putting in? Now, when you actually go to the gym, you're going to love it. You know you're going to have enough time, you know you're working towards your goals, and you know you actually enjoy it. So there's no resistance there whatsoever. Rather than saying, yep, I'm just going to go 3 times a week. You now know you're going to go at 5 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You have enough time, you're going to enjoy it, and it's working towards the goal that you want to reach. So now we've got our goals, we know where our priorities are in life, and we know exactly how we're going to get there. We know the actionable steps that is going to enable us to actually get to these goals. We know the vehicle now. But there is one golden rule that I need you to follow, and I need you to listen very, very close when I say this. It is okay to fuck up. Do not be afraid to fuck up, because we know life, it happens. Things go out the window. What we think is a perfect world isn't a perfect world, and you need to be okay to fail. You need to be okay to fuck up. That is the first step. And what you do to actually make these goals last a long amount of time, enough time for you to actually reach the end goal, is to refine and refine and refine every single week that you do it. I am telling you right now, week 1, you might not hit all your goals. But does that mean that we don't continue on week 2? No. We look at what we didn't achieve and we run through that. We ask ourselves why, and we get to the bottom of it so that week 2, we can work on that and fill in the gaps. So this is a strategy that I like to call the Y times 5 game. I want you to review on your week, and this is something that we do with our one-on-one coaching clients every single week, so that we can actually fill in the gaps and know where you're going wrong, so we can actually know how you can do it better the next week. So whatever you haven't managed to do in your week, I want you to write it down. So let's just take, for example, you didn't hit your steps. I want you to ask yourself why you didn't reach your steps. Okay, because you had no time. Okay, why didn't you have any time? Because I didn't get up early. Okay, why didn't you get up early? Because I was scrolling on TikTok all night. So now, instead of us telling ourselves, I can't get my steps, I can't get my steps, I can't get my steps in, and just beating yourself up about steps, the problem isn't actually the steps. The problem is you're scrolling on TikTok every single night, which is having a knock-on effect on your morning, which is stopping you getting from your 30-minute walking every single morning, which is then stopping you from getting your 10,000 step goal in. Use the why method every single time you're not doing something, then you can actually get to the root of the problem and work on that. If this was a client, for example, I would be saying, okay, what we need to be doing is setting an alarm on an evening for you to put your phone down and for you to get into bed and start your nighttime routine. Because the real issue isn't actually the steps, it's your nighttime routine, which is stopping you from waking up early and then getting your steps in the morning. We need to actually dig deeper to get to the root cause of your problems, rather than you just being confused all the time and wanting to give up. So whenever you have an issue, whenever you have a problem, ask yourself why as many times until you get to the root, and then you can figure out that. So now we've got our goals, we've figured out our life, we've figured out why we don't reach our goals and how we can actually improve on them. We figured out that it's okay to fuck up and it's okay to fail. Now we just need to let the show run. We need to run, review, and refine. So let's say you're going to be doing this fat loss phase for 12 weeks. You need to be repeating this every single week for 12 weeks. Be okay to fail, review what you're not doing well, and keep going. And this repetition of refinement and reviewing and taking feedback and getting better is what's going to get you from where you are now to the person that you want to be, to the goal you that you're wanting to be. And the most important thing about doing it this way is this way enables you to actually stay in that position without actually going back to stage 1. Because the reason why you're going back to stage 1 every single time, the reason why you're losing 10 kg and then gaining it all back, is because you're not doing the root work, you're not doing the groundwork of understanding your life, actually building habits that become automatic, and actually doing the groundwork. You're maybe going on something like Slim World, you're maybe doing something like a crash diet, which you're having to mold your whole life around initially. It works because you've had to literally drop the whole of your life for that 5 weeks. You've dropped the 10 kilos, but because when you come back to just repeating your normal life again, it's all coming back on because you're just repeating the habits that you previously had. Reaching your goals is just a set of habits amalgamated together and repeated over. So if you want to reach your goals, work on your habits, not your numbers. Make your habits automatic, and you won't only get to that goal, but you'll actually be able to stay there for good. So remember, it's not about perfection. It's not about being perfect every single day. It's about creating habits that are tailored to you, adjusting it, refining it, review it every single week so that it becomes automatic in your life and you just don't have to think about it anymore. What I've just explained to you there is the exact system that we use when we coach our one-to-one clients at Doable. When they first come in, we figure out their goals, we review their life, we review what is a priority. We then make space for their goals and make space for their priorities. And then on a weekly basis, we help you review your goals. We help you review what is actually missing and what you need to work on, and give you new goals for the next week so that every single week you can review and refine and repeat this over and over and over again. And that's why we've got the results that we do. That's why we have clients coming in and losing more weight than ever been able to lose in their entire life. We've got people coming in, being able to achieve goals that they've never ever dreamt of dreaming, because they've got that support, they've got that accountability, and they've got someone else looking in on their goals and giving them advice for them to actually be able to work on and not be alone with it. So if that sounds like something that you would like to get involved in, you would like to have your own personal cheerleader getting you on board with this every single week, I've got a link in the description below. We don't have that many spaces left on a monthly basis, but if you are serious about reaching your goals, if you are serious about getting to this result, go to the link in the description, fill out the form, get on a call with our team, and we will be able to get you there. So yeah, that is the end of my first sit down formula based video. If there's any other topics, if there's any other structures that you would like me to break down and give you step-by-step formulas on, let me know. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you can take this away with you. I hope you've made loads of notes that you can take away with you and actually implement in your life. And I hope you know where you can go and need to go if you are struggling. If you like this video, subscribe along, and I'll see you in the next one.